Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the JustNabz podcast with me, Nabila, and
the great Nabil. Hello.
I almost forgot my name for a second.
Oh, that's proper. You're drunk?
No. I am stone cold sober.
Oh, no judging. No judges. Not judging. How was your week?
It's been good. Crazy animal farm going on in my house at the moment. My cat is now learning the outdoors. So he has been terrorizing the birds this week, dropping eggs out of the nest, setting off the neighbor's dogs barking, our dogs barking, running up and down the roof. I was like, no one warned me that cats were this much work. I thought they just sleep all day.
You could make a Netflix TV series out of it.
Yes, Louis the Great.
Is it his name?
King Louis.
Oh, is it because of Lewis Hamilton?
Louis.
Bloody hell!
Do you know everyone thinks
do you think
that,
that's respectful?
It's not actually. It's not because of that. It's because he's a rescue. He showed up at our door one night, in the middle of lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Cold, messy eyes. It was like full of pus, and he was like shivering and crying at our door. And so we took him in. We don't know anything about cats. We are a dog family. We have 3 dogs. We've only ever had dogs. Never liked cats. So we're like, what do we even do with this thing? Okay, the first thing you do, they show you in the movie, is give the cat milk. So we tried giving him milk. Nope, he didn't like milk. Gave him a bit of water. He didn't drink. We had to force feed him with the syringe. The drama that night. Anyways, next day we took him to the vet, got him his jabs, because we decided, okay, we're actually keeping him because he's really cute. If you've been following me on social media from like June, July, or before that, you would have seen that night I posted, I was like, how do I take care of a cat? And people giving me suggestions, what to do and stuff. So we took it from there. And then we like wrapped him up in this little Louis Vuitton scarf. And we're trying to name him like, I don't know, we thought of names like Turkish names, and nothing was fitting. And then like he really liked this Louis Vuitton scarf. So we're like, what about Louis? And then that's how he got his name.
How old was he when he came around?
We think about 5 weeks. The vet said round about 5 weeks. So
quite early.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very early.
It's because on the milk thing, I thought it was older, and we as humans are the only animals who keep on drinking milk even after.
Yes, that's what I say all the time.
Yeah, so
it's disgusting.
It's never good. No, it is not disgusting. I love milk, but I love being a human. But yeah, we are the only animals, so that's why they're not going to consume any milk. But yeah, wonderful story. I thought that was because of Lewis Hamilton, and a part of you.
My brother calls him Lewis.
Right, but a part of you was because of Lewis Hamilton, wasn't it? You have to admit it. Can't be a coincidence.
Fine, if you're gonna force me to say it, yes.
Right, so if you meet Lewis Hamilton, you are going to say, oh, my cat is named after you. It's quite an honour, isn't it?
I have better pick-up lines for Lewis Hamilton. Thank you very much.
Oh, give me one.
Don't put me on the spot.
You do know that if you meet Lewis Hamilton, you just stand there like stone cold, like, watching him.
Yeah.
Not saying anything.
The blood would like drain from my face.
Yeah. But I mean, do you know anyone who met Lewis Hamilton?
Do you know I actually do? I And it's funny that we started off like this, because it's the perfect introduction for our next guest, our first guest for 2021. So in our last episode, we talked about, culture, and how did you end up where you are, and we asked people, are you living in a country that you are not originally from, and how did you get there? And we had someone reach out to us who listens to our podcast. She's a Lewis Hamilton fan, and she's met him. I'm very jealous. So, without further ado, Gigi. Hi.
Hi,
How are
Hello.
you?
I'm fine, thank you. And thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, it's only a pleasure. We're very excited to have you.
Thank you.
Because it's two Lewis Hamilton fans against whoever this guy supports.
Hey. I literally,
Who's
if we go on the Formula One side, you're literally never going to win, right? So I support Ferrari. Like, Ferrari is up here, you're down here, amongst the other like randoms, normies. Like, Ferrari is something else. Don't even mention it.
Oh no, I really feel for you.
No, I'm literally a die-hard Ferrari fan. And I don't know how you can't support Ferrari. That's literally beyond me.
Okay, before this man starts defending his team, let's go back to you, Gigi.
Yeah.
You are currently living in France. How did you get there? I know you're not originally from there.
Yeah. So I grew up in Cameroon. This is where I come from. And after I graduated from high school, I went to how to call it in English, classe préparatoire.
Elementary school.
Nabil can help you.
Yeah, so I went there for 2 years. So I chose the difficult one. It was physics and mathematics. It was mine.
Wait, it's not elementary school. It might be high school.
It's high school, but not university.
It's something between high school and
Oh,
university.
like a bridging
Yeah,
kind of course.
exactly. Bridging. Yeah.
Exactly. So after those 2 years, I actually went to France for the engineering school. So the first year was actually bad, like really bad, because when I moved from Cameroon, it was in September, or end of August, beginning of September, and it was like 30 degree in Cameroon and 15 degree here in France. So I was literally freezing. And my sister, who was already here, told me that no, it's okay, 15 degree. You can work with your little jacket, and it will be okay. And let me tell you, I had my pullover. I have a T-shirt on it. I had a jacket. I have my scarf. I have like 2 sockets in my shoes, and I was still freezing.
Wow. Dreadful.
It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I arrived in Paris, but my school was in Rouen. It's like
Nabil's favorite city is Paris.
No, quite the opposite. No.
I'm being sarcastic.
And then my first winter, it was like, I think it was a nightmare because it was really cold. My family was like 6,000 kilometers away, so I thought I will give up and just leave everything and go back to Cameroon because it was too much for me, because I wasn't used to be alone without my family, without my friends, so it was really hard.
So we've been talking in the last 2 episodes about, Africa. Like, so I've been speaking like from a African point of view, and Nabil's obviously been, touching on European but you come in and you've lived in both continents, and moving to France, was that a decision you made for a better education, choosing a better lifestyle, or what was your thinking behind going to France?
It was that for the first reason was that having better education, but it was also to be free. Because
Freedom.
yeah, because when I was with my parents, they are like old school parents. Like you can, as a girl, you cannot go out as much as you like. You cannot hang around with boys because you're a girl and it's not in our culture. So you need to stay away from boys. You need to stay away
I can
from
relate.
parties and so on. So I was like, when I arrived in France, I was like, oh, freedom, yes.
And
And the whole cultural shift between living in an African country and going from having little to no freedom living with your parents to having full freedom, didn't it like shock your mind?
It actually shocked my mind because it was too much freedom. Like I could basically do whatever I want, and I can say I did a lot of not nice things.
and
But in terms of culture, I would say I didn't really say a big difference because when I was in Cameroon, I was in the capital, so it was like cities, big buildings, cars, etc. So it wasn't really different from that.
what made
Okay.
you choose France over, I don't know, Spain, UK, Italy? Maybe yeah, the UK is quite expensive. That might be an argument. But how about Spain, Italy, and anywhere else, Germany?
I chose France because when I was in between university, we had some partnerships with schools
Oh,
here in France. So it was in terms of administrative procedures, it was really really simple to just go to France.
oh, okay. And was it like, was it a day that you said I have to get out, or was it more like a process of maybe years or months in which you kept thinking I have to go to France, I have to leave home? Or was it like something that happened all of a sudden and you hopped on that train and you went up to France?
When I was in high school, it has been something I always think about. Like when I finish high school, I want to go abroad to have better education, to because I knew that in Cameroon, the education is it's not difficult, but it's difficult after your graduation because it's really really difficult to
Yes.
find a good job based on your skills. So I wanted a fair treatment because I was like, I want to be an engineer and I want to be paid like an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We have the same issue in South Africa where um you finish your degree and then you have to go to the highest to get your masters, and then you sit without a job because no one can match the pay with your qualification.
Exactly.
So we have people with masters and PhDs just sitting unemployed because no one can pay them enough for their qualification.
Exactly. I have a cousin who was really, really intelligent when he was in high school. And when he graduated, he went to university, but then he didn't find a good job until today. Like I will say, 10 years older than me, and he still doesn't have the job he's supposed to have. So when I
Oh,
saw
wow.
him, who was really, really intelligent, he was the first of his class,
Wow.
and he was struggling to find a good job. So I told myself I can't, because I know I'm an intelligent girl, and I can I want to be in a job of my dream and pay for what I deserve.
No, definitely. That's also such a brave move to, move to a whole other continent with people you've never grown up amongst. And in your class, you said you studied engineering. Were there a lot of females?
No, there were like 5 girls for 20 over 30 boys.
Sure.
But it wasn't, I didn't feel the difference, because since I was in high school, I was in the scientific part of the school. So there was like same 10 girls for 30 or 40 boys. So I was used to be,
That big classes.
Yeah.
Wait, you said 40.
Wow.
yeah,
How many people did you have in a class?
like between 40 and 50.
That's
Yeah,
like
Whoa.
and bear in mind that I was in a private school.
that's a whole
That's
supermarket. Wow.
insane.
Bloody hell. And was it hard to to learn or to follow class and everything if you're in the
Not at
midst
all.
of 40 people? I would be losing myself.
No, not at all, because I think because it was, it was school which was handled by Catholic people, so it was
Mm,
really really strict. There was a strict how to say rule book, so it was
okay.
really really, it wasn't so difficult to follow the class, because when you if you wanted to be a little bit a bad student, you will be punished. So
Wow.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I think the most we had in our classes was about 31. It wasn't such a big, they weren't so big class, but I mean, I went to what they call a Model C school, so it's former, a former private or former white school, something like that. So it was, one of the better off schools. I do know, however, there are schools in the townships here that are like that with 40 learners in a class, and there's a lot of failures. How many were there in your class?
depends. Well, the school where I was a really really good one, so it wasn't fail. There were more success than failure. For example, when I was in the how to say grade, uh, 2, 3. So I will say in French, because I don't know the UK system of.
Yeah, no worries.
So I was in um, the. So I would say first grade is first year of high school, right?
For us, it's grade 8 is the
Grade
first year
8.
of high school.
So it's like for you, it's like 8, 7, and
So we go from grade R, that's like reception class, and then grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we go right up until grade 12. So then from grade 8 to grade 12 is considered high school, then grade 12 is your final year, or we call it matric.
okay. So I will say, for example, the final year of high school, my class had made 100% success.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
very good. Marvelous. I had smaller classes. I think my personal record was like 27. Yeah, something like that. 27.
What a massive class.
Yeah, no, it's because it should be like regulated by law. Like each teacher can have a maximum of, and I think it's like 29 or 30 students here in Italy. If you're in class, if you want to go outside, it should be like one teacher per 10 students, I reckon. So yeah, we do have smaller classes. That's why I said like 40 people in a class. I would be lost, to be fair. I get that Catholics might be strict and everything, but I would be completely losing my mind.
I think we are used to it. That's why I think we don't mind having 40 people in the class.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay because in university, for instance, here, I've been to some classes where we were like over 100, and it's completely fine. But you know, you're in university, you're older, more mature. You can shut up and follow a lesson for 2 hours without, without losing your concentration. So, yeah. But in high school, that would have been a bit kind of impossible for me, to be fair. Yeah.
Is in my so when I went to university, well, it wasn't really a university, it was more like art school. It was a college. There were 13 people in my class.
Wow.
We started off with about 20, just over 20, and then people just dropped out rapidly. And so by the end of third year, there were 13 of us only. So we became, quite good friends with each other. And then we had some lectures with other courses. And then I think that was maximum 80 students. It wasn't more than that, which was nice because you get personal attention from lecturers.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when I considered like going back to study, I would only consider the college that I studied at, because I'm like, I can't go into a bigger class. I don't know understand other people's teaching methods. Yeah, but I don't know how. I don't have the focus anymore to study, to be honest. Truly.
No, I mean, it's the whole focus. It comes if you do something you really like, you're more brought into it, and it's easier to focus. In high school, for instance, we were just 27, but I do remember sometimes where we were just sat there in class, and one of the lessons was going on. We were playing maybe poker on our phones without gambling real money. Don't do that. But it was like Zynga Poker. That was a popular Facebook game at the time, and we were just playing that, and we were like 27, not 40. So God knows what would have happened.
When I was in high school, so phones were forbidden in the rule book. So
Same with
Yeah, here
us.
as well. Yeah, yeah.
they were like sometimes when you before entering the school, they will search in your purse if you have any mobile phone or yeah.
Us as well.
Okay. No, we could bring them, but we could not use them during the lesson. You could have your phone in your pocket, but you could not use it. I think that would have.
We used to have we used to have cell phone count. Sorry, we used to have cell phone counters where we had to hand in our phones at the beginning of the day. So each grade had a basket, and then so all the grade eights would put their phones in a basket, put your name on and whatever, and then at the end of the day you sign out and get your phone again. It was ridiculous, actually.
Yeah, they knew that it will be difficult to just I would say trust the students to not use phones, and considering that we had like 40 people per
Mhm.
class, and there were like I don't know how many classes we had in the high school, but there were a lot of students in the school, so it would have been difficult to just let them
Wow.
have their phone in their pocket. Imagine you're in a class of 40 and you have people who use their phone during the classes. It would have been horrible.
Indeed.
We had payphones. Do you remember payphones where you put in money and where you could call?
Wait, I think she left. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, hold on.
Sorry for that. I don't know what
No
happened.
worries, no worries. Um, What were you saying, Nabila?
Do you remember payphones where you put your coins in and you could make calls? I just used to use those if I needed to contact my parents.
I've never used those.
Have you never used a payphone?
Oh, no, never, never. I can't remember.
Wow.
Never used a payphone. I mean, we had a payphone like it was nearby my place, but I felt like it was like just like a monument, something coming from the old times. I think it's
We actually used to use those things.
bloody hell. No, literally, never used them, and I'm turning 25 in a couple of weeks, so I'm not that young, but I've never used them. Swear to God. Wow, it's interesting.
Did you use CDs? Did you ever use CDs in your PC? Do you know
Oh,
what
I
a
did. I
CD
did.
is?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what a floppy disk is as well. And I know what a CD is.
Okay.
For instance,
Okay, just double checking.
I know what a memory card is. On the PS2,
Yes.
we had
Yeah.
these memory cards who constantly kept bugging themselves, and you had to blow air inside of them to make them
I
work
remember
again.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm memory card old. But yeah, Gigi, how's life in France now? Are you enjoying life in France?
Yeah, how do you celebrate birthdays alone and Christmas alone?
I'm used to it because the first Christmas was really really weird because I was used to have the Christmas tree, the dinner with the family, and then from that one it was I think I was at my place. It was like 18 meters square compared to the big house in Cameroon. I was like, well,
Yes.
Fair enough.
so it was actually depressing the first year, and then the second year, I have a friend that invited me in his family house. It was in Lyon.
Uh huh.
The town, the city was Lyon. It was really really nice. They have been so nice to me. So each year I go to my friend place. But last year I went to my sister place at Libreville in Gabon.
Mhm.
It was so nice. Like the sun, the beach, the
Oh,
cocktail.
sounds wonderful. And as I'm gonna bring in the big R word. So racism in France. Do you ever face any kind of prejudice where I know people will say, no, I'm never discriminated against. The people here are so lovely. But what is it like being a black female in France?
France. If I will compare it with Italy, for example, because I went to Italy for holidays for Monza, the Italian GP, and I was actually shocked at the way they treat black people there because in France it's I will say it depends on the place you are, the city you are, because since I have been in France I can't say I really face a racism. I think I really, really face it like once. I was trying to renew my ID card, and one of the lady working there asked me if I plan to stay in France, and naturally I said yes. And she said me something like, "No, you need to go back to your country." I was and the thing is, I wasn't even complaining about anything. She asked me a question and I answered, and she was so mean. I was like, why?
Go back to your country. I hate that line. How do you said your first year as well was very depressing. How do you adjust to that? So if someone from Africa or wherever moving to a new country to study, what advice would you give them adjusting to loneliness?
I would say don't stay alone. Speak with people, not just the people you met in Cameroon, because there are some friends I had in Cameroon that arrived here, but we were all lost. So I will advise them to speak to people from other people from the local city. Like, this is what helped me a lot to
Integrate into society.
yeah. They were so nice to me, and I'm very very grateful to have met them. And still today we are friends. We for example, one of them went to Cameroon with me one time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And how did they find the experience? I think if Nabil ever had to come to Africa, he'd be shook.
Really?
Where do you think? Wait,
But not Morocco, Africa, like mid
where
and
is Morocco then?
southern Africa.
Wait, to all our Moroccan listeners, you're Europeans. All of a sudden, you're European. So welcome.
No, I
I,
don't mean North Africa. North Africa is a whole different ball game, huh?
like sub-Saharan Africa, under the Sahara Desert. Right. Okay, I will one day, of course.
He actually liked it. He
Yeah.
told me it was really really nice. The food, the people, and the area, because we were in the city next to the beach, so it was one of the best experience of his life.
Wait,
The cities next to the beach are always the best.
wait. Yeah, she said the cities next to the beach are always the best. And thank you, because Florence is not near any beach, so thank you. But yeah, talk to me about Cameroon. Where should I go? Right, so I land in Cameroon. I can't remember
Yeah.
the capital city, but yeah, I land there. Where should I go?
I will say Kribi.
Kribi?
Yeah.
Is it a big city?
No, it's a really, really small city, but it is one of the city next to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
The food there is just amazing. Like, the fish, they will catch it in front of you and cook it in front of you. It's so nice.
Sounds
I
delicious.
love that.
Yeah. What's a typical dish there? Typical food there in Cameroon?
Ooh. So it depends on the city, because there is the thing is, there is a lot of, I will say, group in Cameroon. Like, we have more than, I will say, more than 200 languages in Cameroon. So yeah.
200.
Bloody hell! And I thought this South.
I thought our 11 was
Yeah,
bad.
200 and.
The thing is, Cameroon is a group of small groups. So
Yeah, it's like the USA
Okay.
having more little states in it. Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
So based on the city where you are from, the food will be really really different. Like, from the north to the south, it's two different culture, two different way of behaving. So there isn't a typical Cameroonian food, if I can say.
And what's your favorite dish?
Mine is, my parents are from Kribi. That's why I told
Yeah, I
you
figured.
Kribi. So it's fish. All the seafoods, we are eating a lot of seafood because we are near the beach. So it's all about sea.
I love seafood. Oh, Nabila, do you eat seafood?
I do, but not everything. It's like certain things I like hake. Um, cake is, yeah, that's my favorite. I tried oysters for the first time. That
Did you
was
like them?
quite nice.
No, yeah, I ask if you liked it.
It depends on how people make the stuff. So the way the restaurant made this was they put like a grapefruit slice in it, which was weirdly delicious. It was an odd combination, and the tastes broke each other. It was like art in my mouth. It was very nice.
Oh, well, I'll have to try it, I guess.
Do you get a lot of seafood in Italy?
Yeah, I mean, Italy is the best country in the world for food. So we literally
Oh,
have
really?
everything. Yeah, I mean, don't say France, please. France is literally. I don't know how you people eat in France, but yeah, you know, yeah, you know what you should do in France? You should take some lorries, some trucks, and start importing food from Italy, so you can start eating properly. That's the only way you could start eating. I don't think you. No. Hey,
No
what's
way.
your favorite French dish?
Um,
See, there's none.
there is a lot of French dishes I like. It depends on the season because for the winter I like raclette. It's mwah, with a bottle of wine. It's just delicious.
Okay. And what's your favorite Italian dish?
Well,
You literally have no taste. You might have COVID because you have literally zero taste. Bloody hell. You
I
have
like
permanent.
pizza.
You have a new variant of COVID. It's the permanent COVID. 360 days a year. Oh god. Don't touch Italian food. I
Pizza,
might
it's
get
nice.
So,
pizza. Alright, it's
you
mainstream,
mentioned you
but
were in
okay.
Italy for the Monza Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Was that where you met Lewis?
Yes.
What was it like? Tell me, what is he like? I ask everyone who's met him this question, by the way. When we had one of our other guests who did like a brand campaign with him, I was like, what was it like meeting Lewis Hamilton?
Sorry
Louis,
to
he's
interrupt. Sorry to interrupt. Welcome everyone to the Lewis Hamilton fan club. Nabil is checking out. I'm going to shut up from here. You go on.
so Louis. Uh, when I met him, I was shouting like like the fangirl I am. Then I asked him if I can give him a hug, and he said with a big smile, "Yes."
Oh, that's so cute.
And then we talked about for about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yes. He's really, really nice, really, really humble, and he's so calm.
What did what did you talk about? I hope not food, because you literally have no taste.
No. Actually, I was with my sister, and she brought handmade jewelry for him. And we were talking about that, and he asked her if she made it, and she said no, it was handmade, but it was not her. And then he asked us on where in the in the on the track we will be, so the stand where we will be, and we gave him the name of our stand, and he told us that during the drivers parade he will look for us and say hello in his car, and it's actually what he did.
That's
Oh,
very sweet.
that's
Yeah,
flattering.
I had the Union Jack,
Uh-huh.
so I was flying it high with and we were surrounded by a lot of tifosi, so it was really really, I would say, easy to find us in that stand. I was like, yeah, Louis, and he did something like he make a sign like, and he say hello. I was like,
Yeah. Easy to spot. In a sea of red people, you see these two blue dressed girls with a Union Jack. That is so easy to spot. Love it. Love it.
Have you been to a race, Nabil?
No, that's something that pains me. I've been following Formula One for literally like 20 years now, but I've never been a
And it's
person.
right there on your doorstep.
It is, but I mean, now the thing about Monza is that it used to be a bit expensive for us, so that's one reason. And now I've always had exams with my university, like on the 4th or the 5th or the 2nd of September, and it's always there around the weekend. So I've never managed
Ugh.
to go, but yeah, I will maybe this year.
And you saying it's expensive being in Italy. Can you imagine from South Africa? It's absolutely ridiculously expensive,
Yeah,
especially with our currency being so weak. We have to still pay for visas.
yeah,
It's so you have to save up. You have to have like a goal. You have to be like, okay, in the next year or 2 years or 3 years, depending how much you can save up, and you have to like save religiously.
Yeah, and it's
absolutely.
actually my sister did because she live in Gabon in Africa, so she had to pay for the visa, to pay for the airplane tickets, and then the ticket for Monza. So it was for her. It was really really expensive.
Yeah, it is,
If
and
I so I worked out like kind of how much a weekend would cost in I think it was the Belgian Grand Prix because that was the cheapest option. Just for like 5 days in Belgium with with all the tickets, just general access passes, it comes to about 54,000 rand.
which is like no 900 euros.
54 divided by about 16.
Oh, 16, not 6. Yeah. It should be like 200 euros.
No, more than that.
Sorry, 300 euros, something between 200. It should be like 280, something like that. But it is expensive.
Gigi, you're the maths person.
No, like even in Monza, if I had to go to Monza, I would not go there just for the race. I would go there for the full 3 days. So here you have
It's about
the hotel expenses.
3,300 euros.
Yeah. You'd have all the expenses for the hotel and everything. Then I have to go there, and that's another expense. So it used to be expensive. Now, thank God, it is not expensive for me anymore. But it's more a kind of time that's missing. Wanted to go to Mugello because Mugello is literally next to Florence, and it was like a 30 minutes drive from my home, and I wanted to go there. But COVID, yeah, bloody hell, and yeah, couldn't manage it.
We were supposed to go to Monza last year again, but due to Monza, it was
Yeah,
we canceled it because of COVID.
I was actually going to go to Qatar for the MotoGP race. I was literally like about to book it. And the next day they announced that it was being cancelled because of COVID. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I got saved there.
I yeah, I mean, they need to work it out. I mean, tickets are so expensive in Formula One, and also the tickets if you actually want to see something and not be in that portion of the circuit of the track where you don't see anything. That gets literally so expensive, and they need to work it out in some way. I know that they need money because Formula One is like it's so huge, it's difficult to handle, but they need to find some way to I don't know, to make it a bit less expensive. Otherwise, they will drive some fans off at some point, because who's going to pay to go to Saudi Arabia or Vietnam or places like that? I mean, not talking about Vietnam, but as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, they can piss off. I'm never going there, and I'm never spending any money to go there. And it's
Me
going to be,
neither. I'm never going to support that.
and that's going to be so expensive. So they need to figure that out. That is, I think, an issue.
It's probably nothing for those rich Arabs, though. The rich Arabs make it.
Yeah, but if you take like the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, now it is the last Grand Prix of the season, but it is nevertheless so expensive. And
Yes.
I mean, wow. And there's so much money in Formula One.
One of my friends went to the Spanish Grand Prix like 2 years ago, and he asked me if I wanted to come, but it was during Ramadan, so I was fasting and all that. So I was like, you know what, I actually can't. And he got passes for the Renault garage, so he was like met Ricardo, and he went in behind the scenes, and I was like, oh, I'm so jelly. But I'm happy I was happy for him. Like, even when Gigi met Lewis, I'm like, oh, so jealous. But I'm like really happy for them. You know, when you meet someone that you admire or, you know, really like or respect, it's a surreal experience.
Oh, of course, it is. You know, the first thing I want to do as soon as this whole thing is done is I want to go to a Formula One race. I want to go back to the stadium to watch Milan play. I want to go, and I would really like to go and see a tennis tournament. Really love those, and I've never been there as well. So there's so much we have to do in sports.
There was a huge tennis the tennis one for charity in Cape Town last year, just before COVID. It was Rafael Nadal versus Roger Federer.
Oh yeah.
And Bill Gates and Trevor Noah were there. Tickets sold out in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, but
I didn't even get a chance.
You have Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, Bill Gates, all in the same place. Tickets are never going to last.
Yeah.
Of course. And I miss sports. I mean, so much. I mean, regular sports, not having...
The regular sports.
Yeah, I mean, like going into a weekend and not being afraid that nothing is going to happen, and that whole match or race or whatever is going bonkers. I mean, I miss it so much.
For anyone who's never been to a live sporting event, it is absolutely electric. So South Africa, okay, it's cool, it's fun, it's vibes. But when you go to Europe and you watch these big clubs, it's a whole other experience. It's magical. So I can just imagine, you know, what it's like, the stadium's empty, and how the teams must miss that atmosphere and playing in front of no one. I was watching the United and Liverpool game, and it's so dead without people, without fans. The fans make the game.
Oh, okay, I have a question. What's your favorite moment at a live sports event? So I will start with mine so you get the zest of it. My favorite moment is in football when your team is attacking and is going towards goal. When the attacker shoots, like everyone's silenced down. There's kind of less than a second of pure silence, of people waiting to see if the ball is going straight into the net or not. And then the ball goes into the net and you start celebrating, but there's less than a second where people just shut up. You literally hear the whole stadium just shut up for a second and wait for it. That's my favorite moment.
Mine is kind of when... It's around the same, but mine is like when that ball goes in, and then people are for a second are like some people are quiet because they don't know if it went in or not, and then everyone starts cheering, and then everyone else starts cheering, and the singing after that, and the camaraderie, and you just celebrating with the person next to you that you don't even know. Yeah, that is my favorite when your team scores. And Gigi, for you, do you watch football?
When I was in Cameroon, yes. I was watching, when we had Samuel Eto'o
Mm-hmm.
Oh
in the team.
yes.
So it was my favorite I will say era of football. And I remember I went to a local match in Cameroon. It was I think it was Cameroon versus I don't remember the other team, and then it was really really calm, and then the one of our how to call it in. I sometimes I mix French and English
No
because
worries.
I'm used to speak both at the same
It's
time.
fine.
Sometimes
Multi
I forgot the I forget the word in.
multilingual problems. I speak English only and I forget words, so it's fine.
Yeah, so when the player scored the goal, it was like I thought that because all the stadium start cheering because there was I would say 90% Cameroonian. So imagine the cheering from the crowd. It was just amazing.
Um,
I think every African country has that one player that is your country, and they just make your country proud, and you
that's
just like
true.
dedicate.
That's
Like
true.
everything is like, this is your champion. So for us, it's Benny McCarthy.
I've never heard of him.
And then he actually used to coach Cape Town City, and I met him once, and I was like, oh my god, I'm such a huge fan. He was like, I like your cap, and I was wearing a Man United cap.
Well, I think
I was like, whoops.
I think as far as football is concerned, Europe is the pinnacle of football. I mean, European football in general, I think, is the best in the world. I think sports in general. Now, Americans have more sports, like they have basketball and hockey.
American football,
Yeah, American football, which is American football and not football, and football being soccer. Piss off! It's
hand egg.
football.
I
Yeah,
call it hand egg.
it's football. Go on your bloody dictionary. It's football. Um, but yeah, I think as far as sports is concerned, that's one thing I like about Europe is that we have so many sports, and we are like the place where players aim to be at. So it's great. It's
That's
great.
one thing I'll actually give you. European sport is good. But can I tell you a
Thank you.
funny story about American football?
Uh huh.
So, a few years ago, I used to have a crush on this American boy, and he was really into football, American football. He played it as well and stuff. So I, for one whole year, like just dedicated myself to learning about the sport and following his team and watching it and getting so into it. I stayed up one night and watched the whole Super Bowl game. Yeah, that's how dedicated I was to
Wow,
this.
that's next level simping.
Yeah, yeah. But back then the word simp didn't exist, so
Yeah. Then they invented it, and he stopped watching the Super Bowl. You know what? Since we always talk about your crushes, here's a little bit thing about me. One thing I love is French girls speaking English with a French accent. So that is top level for me. That that weird R, that's what gets me. I mean, to follow up on the story about the library girl. she has to have a French accent. So that is my prototype.
Oh wait, so the library girl is real.
No, not yet.
Oh
But
wait, you
in my
mean
dreams,
ideally? Oh, okay.
ideally, she has a
Oh,
French
I get
accent.
you.
Absolutely. Uh, so, so yeah,
Oh, no
please.
wonder why you've been blushing this whole time.
Yeah, it's because it keeps playing in my ear. When Gigi talks, and I keep thinking about it. And yeah, that's why.
Damn, Gigi.
I know my English accent is funny.
No, it's not funny. It's
Nah,
perfect
no
to me.
way.
Like if yeah, okay, hear me out. If you have that accent, don't change it. Literally, I don't have an Italian accent, and and it's okay because Italian English accent looks like Mario. So everyone thinks we're like Mamma Mia.
I actually don't even know what accent you have. I just know you have an accent, but I can never put my finger on what your accent is.
Right. So, um, I get told that it resembles the British accent mainly. Um, Even in some pronunciation, it's more British than American than anything else. Uh, but yeah, other than that, I have no idea. I don't know how I sound. That's the thing, because I do not listen to
The
our
Nabil
episodes.
accent.
The Nabil
You must
accent.
listen to our podcast after and then you'll hear your accent.
You sound British for
I
me.
sound British,
Really?
right? So yeah, I mean,
It's like British mixed with something else, like a tinge of some other European accent mixed with British. It's like two accents combined. It's very unique. I've never heard anyone else with that accent.
well, I'm one of a kind.
Truly.
This,
Truly.
this you're looking at is a limited edition. So that's
Okay.
why.
So we have to cut it there before this boy's head explodes.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It
And
was so nice having you, Gigi.
yeah, tell us.
So I wanted to say it was Gigi and I met online on Twitter, just as you and I met. So it's very cool, this whole using Twitter as a networking kind of website, just meeting, becoming friends with people on Twitter. Have you ever met anyone you've met on Twitter?
Not yet. Not yet. I plan to meet one of the girl I met on Twitter. Her name is Aliona, but with the COVID things and all, it is really really difficult. And she's from Russia.
Oh, interesting. Ah. Have you met anyone from Twitter, Nabil?
Plenty. Literally plenty. Mainly from the F1 Twitter world, F1 Italy Twitter. But yeah, plenty to be fair. And the thing about Twitter is that you use it to express your state of mind. So when you make a connection, it's based on common interests. That is why I reckon it's easier to meet someone met on Twitter rather than someone met on Facebook or Instagram. On Instagram, it's just someone saying, "Oh, nice picture," whatever. There's not a real connection, is there? So that's why I think it's easier to meet people from Twitter and or so yeah. Instagram is just for sliding in the DMs and hitting on someone you like. But
I get so happy when I see like Twitter couples, like people who met on Twitter and they
yeah, how it
like
started,
they
how
fell
it's
in love
going.
and
Yeah.
yes. I actually read a funny story once where this girl replied to one of the bookstore's Twitter accounts and somehow she eventually got to know the guy who was running the account and they got married.
Oh,
Bloody hell.
Very cute.
It's quite a story. I'm happy for them. Yeah.
I want to hear all the people's stories, like anyone who's met on Twitter
Yeah.
or Other platforms, I don't really care. But if you want to tell me that, tell me. I'll
No,
still be
please
happy for
come,
you.
please come. No, don't listen to her. Anywhere you've met, just come. Don't.
Anyway, you've met on social media, like, how's it going with that person? How far has your relationship gone? I want to hear all about it. I like juicy stuff like that. I like to feel happy because I can live vicariously through you because I haven't met my crush yet. I was supposed
No,
to go to his country. I'm not going to say which country, but we all know. But I was going to go to his country.
you've said it like 100 times. If you don't know it by now, then listen to a couple of minutes of any previous episode,
You
and
have to
you
listen
get.
to all our episodes to try and figure out which country he's from.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. If you want to come on, it's literally so interesting hearing from people. That is Gigi. You're super interesting as a person, and I loved this whole story and everything. So thank you really for coming along. And what's for you in the future?
Thank
Do you
you.
plan on living the rest of your life in France, or do you plan on going back to Cameroon?
No, I think I will stay for a little while in France. In terms of trips, it's really easier to go to another country from there than to go from Cameroon, because if I go back to Cameroon, I had to, if I, for example, need to go to another Monza GP, I need to apply for
Mm.
visa, to pay expensive airplane ticket, so it will be too too expensive for me to go back to Cameroon now. Maybe in 20, 30 years.
Can we expect to see you in F1 anytime soon?
Well, we hope so. If you go to,
I want to see more diversity.
yeah, I mean, really wish you to get to F1. That might be. I hear it's quite stressful, but that might be a dream. So, best of luck with that.
Do you know how I started to be interested in F1? It's really funny because I remember that I was a MotoGP fan, not an F1 fan. And then each race week, I had my sister who was already an F1 fan and a Lewis fan. She was like always talking to me about Lewis, how incredible he is. And she was giving me those technical debrief, and I was like, what is she talking about? And what I did is, before each of our debrief session, I was watching the free practice or the qualifying or the race, so that I won't be lost. And then from time to time, I started to like it, and to see Lewis, like, I was like, he's too good, he's too damn good.
Wow. What was the first Grand Prix you watched?
I think it was in 2016. It was I don't remember the race. Um
2016. Uh-huh.
I'm sure it was 2016, and I was so sad when he lost the championship that year, and I was like, no. And this gave me, um I would say, from that time I was rooting for him even more, because he lost
Mhm.
that
I
year.
wasn't a Hamilton fan back in that year. I was a Rosberg fan, and I was so happy that year
What
when
was
Rosberg took it.
what was it the first GP you watched, Nabila?
Ooh, like properly, I think it was Monaco 2014
Okay.
was like the first full proper. Other than that, I was just like, okay, by the way.
I remember my
Wasn't like
first.
really into it. I think I got like properly into it that race?
I remember my first GP. It was Spa 2002. Ferrari 1-2 with Michael and Rubens, and I was with my father at a local cafe because we knew the owner, and everyone was there watching it, and everyone dressed in red, and I hear everyone cheering, because we went actually the day before and we watched quali, and everyone was cheering when Michael got pole. Then the day after, everyone was cheering for a 1-2, and Ferrari was so dominant that year as well. So yeah, that gave me so much joy. That was my proper first GP I've ever watched. Literally, will never, I will
cool.
never, yeah.
We're all being like real Africans here, where we like say bye at the door, then carry on talking, and then bye in the car, and then carry on talking.
You're
Because we've
right.
said bye, sort of, already.
You're
Or
right.
you can say bye again. So we've said bye at the door, and now we'll say bye at the car. And thank you so much, Gigi, for joining us. All the best for your future, and I am rooting for you to see you in Formula One day, if that's where you want to be.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck, and best wishes.
Ooh,
And
before the car drives out the gate, song of the week. What are we listening to?
I forgot.
Also,
Yes, what's this?
anything that's like currently on repeat on your playlist.
It's a Cameroonian song.
Ooh,
What's the name?
Let me find it.
So while you're looking for that, mine is Lost by Samra. He's a German singer. Was this not my song last week or the week before? I hope not.
It was.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
No, last week I did the Hector Bellerin
Oh yeah, you're
documentary.
right.
So this one here, Topic 42 and Samra, Lost. It's a very catchy song, and it's in German.
German.
Yeah, I've given a shot to German music. I don't like it.
German music is the wave.
No. My song of the week is quite great. It's called Legendary by Welsh Arms. It's literally the best song to pump you up. So if you need to do something, go for a run or anything, listen to it. Legendary by Welsh Arms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
You're gonna share that with us after, and we will share it with everyone listening. Put us onto that good stuff. African music, like wherever you go in Africa, you'll find lit songs.
Lovely.
Okay.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Thank you, Gigi, again.
Lovely, simply lovely.
Thank you, Gigi. It's been really great, and best wishes for the future. And thank you to everyone for sticking with us. And we wish you a wonderful weekend, and we will catch with you next week. Goodbye.